Home borrowers have something to look forward to tonight, the possibility of the first interest rate cuts of 2012. The latest inflation figures came out today, and it's the tamest outlook for years, thanks partly to the price of bananas. It all points to the Reserve Bank deciding to lower interest rates at its next board meeting. Here's finance correspondent Philip Lasker.
The signs are everywhere and the numbers confirm it.
There has been very little to no inflation pressure in the Australian economy in the last 6 months.
The quarterly increase in prices was one of the smallest in 3 years, and Australia's annual inflation rate has halved to a 2.5-year low.
These figures are very welcome and they're very encouraging.
Fruit prices plunged as the impact of the Queensland floods continued unwinding, while the strong Australian dollar and weak spending combined to keep a lid on travel costs and prices for electronics. Necessities like health and education costs saw the biggest rises. Overall, inflation is now tracking below the Reserve Bank's expectations, clearing the way for this year's first interest rate cut.
I think there is a real possibility that the Reserve Bank cuts by 50 basis points in May.
The housing lobby sees it as a necessity.
A 50 basis point cut is entirely appropriate given the current state of the domestic economy.
It's a move which can't come soon enough for borrowers, or it appears the federal opposition leader.
Should the Reserve Bank lower interest rates today, that will be welcomed.
But the RBA board doesn't meet today.
We all make mistakes, but when you want to be the alternative Prime Minister of Australia, interest rates is just such an important issue. And the Reserve Bank board has been meeting on the second Tuesday of the month since 1960.
It seems financial services ministers aren't aware it's the first Tuesday of the month either. The RBA board will then have one eye on the increasingly unsettling events offshore.
It's all about politics on the markets, with the French elections and the failed government in the Netherlands, so that is all negative.
A growing backlash against European austerity measures has triggered the collapse of the Dutch government and left France's presidential race wide open. The concern saw most markets in Europe plunge more than 2%. Philip Lasker, ABC News.